ended the recording abruptly with my thumb as I'm holding it with my other hand. Anyways, so yeah, you're assaulting a citizen, and now I come, the 911 staff or the officer, peace officers they call themselves. They're not peace officers, They should first verify and understand and try and see what just happened, what transpired. But no, without a warning, I'm shot, tasered. I don't want to be a statistics man. So too bad I didn't die, I suppose, right? Because it would have been easier for you if I was dead. I would have been a martyr for my family, but I'm not. I don't consent to this bullshit. So now, basically, I got up and I'm agitated. I have two videos that I will be sharing. That's basically the aftermath of when I just got up, right? My heart felt like it stopped, and I saw nothing for like a split second. Like I thought I was dead. And suddenly, I wake up and I was in the middle of the road. They grab me, they drag me to the side of the sidewalk. And I'm on the ground, and they're on me like fuck. There were eight cops total, if not more. So anyways, I'm there, and we have again, you'll see the videos what happened. Yeah, I went all profanity, not because I was being disrespectful in the first place. No, I was very cooperative. I was very compliant with the police officers when they first came to basically stop me, and allegedly I was driving with a suspended driver license. Remember, I was pulled over. I cooperated. They searched me unlawfully. They put me in the back of the cruiser. They released me. I did not consent to the two offenses. I walked. I came back. So, again, I was compliant. There was no reason for you to basically treat me the way you did. And suddenly now, with all things happening, suddenly now they want to call the medics because somehow I'm taking, they're thinking I'm medically unstable or some shit. You dumb shit. You just tasered me. What do you expect? You just tasered. Go try and hit a dog. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't. Before you know it, before the dog even had a chance to bite your hand back, guess what? The SWAT team would be swooping in because guess what? This would be, animal cruelty. You will be charged under the criminal code. That's right. So now you are coming at me. You're assaulting a human being. You are assaulting me. I did nothing. There was no threat whatsoever. The police officer previous to that came and they were suspicious that, I'm reaching to the back of my car. No shit, I'm reaching to the back of my car. That's where my passport is in my guitar. I'm not just an entrepreneur. I'm an artist, a musician, right? I have tons of talents. Whereas you schmuck don't know nothing but to drive a car like an Uber. So go to school. Maybe you should learn how to live life and, discover and explore your talents. If you allow yourself to actually, be talented, that is, right? So that's basically what happened in Ottawa, and then because the 911 showed up, now I'm taken to custody, police custody on Elgin. My sister showed up, right, just around midnight or shortly after midnight. I was denied release. Unlawfully. My sister showed up to claim her property. I am her brother in blood. They did not consent to my release. Unlawful detainment. So now, apparently, I received a call from a duty counselor by the name of Ahmed Hamza, right? And he's not my lawyer, but he's a duty counselor. And he tells me that, the crown prosecutor in Ottawa, right? She is, or he is, I'm not too sure, she is or he is, likely to be a she, that essentially, she is insisting, the crown prosecutor is calling for a 30 days incarceration. So from the August 25th till the September 25th. That's when I was sworn in, August 25th. So now I'll be there for 30 days. Why? Because of similar allegation before the court in a different jurisdiction. Again, you're breaking the law. I am innocent until proven guilty. And those allegations were being dropped. I had gone to the courthouse on the 10th of September. Because they were hoping that I will be in the in detainment in a detention center from the 25th till the 25th of August to the 25th of September, thereby missing my court date on the 10th of September in the Superior Court of Justice in Quebec, therefore fulfilling my right to defend myself. And guess what? I'm incarcerated for life. But that did not happen. They had their plan. But guess what? I was released after 6 days. But for 6 days, I was insisting that I represent myself because there's you have to bring, habeas corpus. You got to produce the body. Section 10C of the Charter, 1982, right? Part 1. You must produce the evidence and the body. Like, what did I do, right? I insisted on seeing a judge. No judge on the weekend. Bullshit. There's judges every day. In fact, when I was incarcerated in a detention center, there are judges on the weekend, my friend. Even they don't take long weekends because there's special bail hearing courts happens throughout the week. Throughout the week, because we have a long list of people on the docket. So I'm denied basic right. They are trampling and infringing on my constitutional right, which natural rights, which are safeguarded by the Constitution, right? So now what happens? Essentially, I'm released on the 29th, I believe, or 29th of August. And my mom came as a surety, but I did not need nobody as my surety. I have zero criminal record. I have done nothing wrong. But this was their attempt to basically, put something on me. So if I, do not abide by those rules, they have the reason to basically throw me in jail. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So, on the 4th of September, I went to basically, I submitted my bail variation form. No consent from the Crown. Of course, there's no consent because they have no jurisdiction, right? Like I'm telling the Crown, listen, you have no jurisdiction over me, so they cannot consent to anything. So now I'm told to appear before the court on the 17th of September. That was my first court date. And I appeared. But because my mother had revoked her surety on the 6th of September, I had submitted my variation release form on the 4th. And I got no response. My mother, because, she's older woman, she's stressed out and whatnot. She had gone. We had gone through a mini argument the day before because of my, my request or my ask that I, drive the car. I had just renewed my driver license on the 6th of, the 6th was it? I have to double check. Yeah, the 6th. On the 6th of September. That is the newly issued license, September the 6th. So on the September the 6th, I tell my mom, listen, I need your vehicle. I had no reason to ask for my mom for her vehicle. Had not the cop in the first place stole my vehicle and towed it, and impounded it unlawfully, holding it as a hostage. So now basically, my mom, she does not give me the car because she has concern that I don't have a driver license or something. But I had just renewed my driver license. So, but I cannot blame her. She is just my mother. She is trying to act in my, my interest. She's concerned about her son. She does not want her son to be back in jail because some idiot cop who would pull me over, and she just does not happen to understand the law. I had done nothing wrong. So now, I appeared to the courthouse on the 17th of September. And guess what? Before you know it, I was there trying to basically appear before the court so I can receive my disclosure, so I can contest the allegation and choose my my court of my mode of the court, so to speak, because you have provincial, you have superior court, and then you have federal, right? Supreme, and the criminal court is federal law. Anytime you are charged with federal offense, you have the automatic right to go and appear before a public trial with a jury, and that is your Superior Court of Justice. It's not difficult, man. So the stooges, basically, they detained me on the spot inside the courthouse. Suddenly, the justice of the peace had gone for a recess, like a vacation. Like what? This is the courthouse, man. Why can't I see the judge on the spot? So now I'm taken to, basically, again, I spend the night in custody, and they transfer me back to, Ottawa Carlton Detention Center on Ennis Road. And following on the 18th of September, my father now is back, not my mother, and my father acts as my surety. Again, don't need him as my surety, but remember, the duty counsel and the Crown prosecutor, they're cooking their own deal. So I leave, and I'm told by the duty counselor that, there will be no third time, so you gotta be careful. I'm thinking, what nonsense is this? I did nothing wrong. Fast forward to December 3rd. My dad and I had been going through some, arguments here and there because of his ignorance of the law, and his inability to just reason and understand, cause and effect. Suddenly, I have my court appearance on the 8th of October. My father comes, and I told my father, I do not feel well to go to the court. I'm going to appear by virtual mode of appearance, Zoom. The court allows me to do that. It's not like I'm requesting something out of this world. In fact, the court promote and encourages you to appear by virtual mode of appearance, so you do not crowd the courthouse. So my father appears in front of my house, blocks my driveway because I had my mom's car on me to go and do my thing. But no, he blocks my driveway. I told him, listen, I'll meet you at the courthouse. Does not listen. He goes and agitates me. So guess what? You cannot force me, father. I go on foot and I walk to the nearest coffee shop, A&W, and that's where I log in to the Zoom call. And basically, I had just received a call from the duty counselor telling me, I'm like, if I was coming. I said, yes, I am appearing before the court, but via Zoom. And she tells me, okay, well, just appear in the afternoon because right now it's for duty counselor and those who are represented by lawyers. Because if you're not represented by lawyers or duty counselor, your time is not invaluable. So you gotta wait till the afternoon. No problem. I wait for the afternoon. So that was October the 8th. I have yet to receive a disclosure from October the 8th. Then on the 18th of November, I had another court hearing to basically receive my my disclosure. The judge herself, the Crown prosecutor, they raised this point that, you should come in person to receive it. No, dumbass. I have an email. You can email me. It's not difficult, right? So the judge herself, she had allowed, and she gave me the permission to basically to remain, appearing via Zoom. And she herself, the judge, the resigning judge on the date, the November the 18th, she made basically a court date on the December the 18th, where I would actually, it's not about to receive, it's just to confirm. That court date was set only so I can confirm, and the judge confirmed that I have received the disclosure, right, from those 5 otherwise allegation against me, criminal allegation. Go figure, man. So basically what happened was I received nothing, of course. And on the 18th of December, I logged into my, Zoom, and, there's another judge, and she's suddenly asking me where I was. I'm like, listen, judge, you have nothing on me. I have already got a permission from the previous judge on the 18th of November that we today are only meeting and essentially to confirm that I have received the disclosure, which you have yet to provide. Before you know it, I was in Alfred Town that day, because when I was actually on December 3rd, so what happened was on the December 3rd, I was at Tim Hortons, right? I was at Tim Hortons, and essentially what happened was I was trying to write my affidavit, my statement against the unlawful school board in Quebec, because they are now trying to separate me from my child. They have unlawfully basically provided the ill advice to my ex-wife, which we had amicable divorce, simply because my daughter, less than 14 years of age, she's a minor, I'm her father. So on the 11th of November, I received an email from the school board. I did not notice 11th, 18th, and 11th, 19th, and 26th, I believe. Yes, I'll have to go back and check those days, but this is my recollection. The 11th of November, 19th of November, and the 26th. I have not notice these emails because they come to my personal email, and if there's anything that has to do with my daughter, my ex would have told me in the first place. So there was nothing on for me to be concerned about. But then I got a voicemail, which I have, right? So the woman of the name of Hannah Ultimas, she calls and she tells me basically that they had tried to reach out to me for the last 3 times, and by law, if I don't get back to them, therefore it's a green light. What the heck? If you don't hear back, it's a default no. You have not got my consent. You have no consent for you to start therapy session with my daughter one-on-one therapy session with my daughter. So my daughter finishes school at 2:30. That's when the regular day school finishes. And essentially, my daughter, she's at school from 2:30 till 4 o'clock before her mom comes and pick her up. We had an amicable divorce agreement that, I, as her father, can appear anytime and pick up my daughter. It's not the school's property. She's my daughter. So now I call my wife, just like any other concerned father and a parent. I call my ex. I'm like, listen, girl, I got this email from the school. She's like, I did not receive it, because of course I'm her father. I'm the one who they should seek consent first. If they can't find the father, they go for the mother. But now, because I basically did not consent for the therapy session from my daughter, as I do not know as to what the nature of these therapy session are about, suddenly I find myself I go to school. I just went to school right away. This was this was a Tuesday. This was on a Tuesday, 26. So I went to school, right, and I want to see my daughter. So this was just right after normal school program. So daycare now is supposed to happen. I go there for the next 20 minutes. I'm waiting for my daughter to come out. I mean, come on. If you have it in your policy that I must meet my daughter in a private place, well, you had 20 minutes to arrange and provide such privacy. But my daughter comes out, she comes see me, I hold her in the hallway, I'm talking to her, and now suddenly my daughter doesn't want to come with me. Why? I cannot force my daughter, that's fine. But here's the thing. Why is my daughter not coming with her father? Who is filling my daughter with such garbage that she does not want to be with her father? Last time I saw my daughter was August the 9th, before the whole fiasco with the Ottawa police on the 24th of August, before I was, assaulted, tasered, and taken to jail. So I've been going through all this, custody and release and all that. So of course I'm not going to be able to see my daughter. Of course now I have no car as well. So from August the 9th, the last time I saw my daughter, August 24th is when I got assaulted by the Ottawa police. I had been taken to custody for 6 days, and then appeared on my first court appearance on the 17th of September, to be only taken back to custody again, to be released on the 18th, and then from the 18th of September all the way to like December 3rd, I was fine. Everything is kosher. But of course my dad had now suddenly revoked his surety. He is unfit, breach of trust. He unilaterally goes and revoked his surety. At least my mother told me that she was revoking her surety. My father never did. So that's fine. I could care less about his fucking surety, because you know what? He's in breach of trust himself. He does not understand the law enough to understand what he was doing. He was implicating his own son. So anyways, so now basically the school board now is basically involved, and suddenly all I asked was for the principal and the staff, the daycare staff in question, and my ex-wife to be present in a meeting where, she owes me an apology. And just to make sure that, when I show up, my daughter has to be here within the minute, not 20 minutes. And if there's any policy that I must be in private with my daughter, well, guess what? That's on you, not on me. You understand your processes, not me. That's your process. That's not my process. So basically, that's where the story, starts. And on the December the 3rd, as I get this email from, because remember, November 28th is when I went to school again for the second time, but this time I went with my father, because the 26th of November is when I sent the email to the school principal, Mr. Eric Tremblay, telling him, requesting a meeting with his staff and my ex-wife. Just, we have an understanding. I wasn't asking for much, but yes, I said, if you do not comply to my request, there will be a legal action against you, and, he gets intimidated. So the next day he sent me an email without even, inquiring and, verifying and doing his due diligence as to what happened. He simply jumps the gun and the conclusion that I was at fault. I'm a father, damn it. I'm the father. So you are in breach of trust. So now, suddenly, they cook this whole, and they conspire this whole plan that now they assign a duty counsel, right? A legal advice, illicit, right? They are wrongly, right? Pushing my ex-wife to basically sue me because the school cannot sue me. I am suing the school board, right? And South Hall School and the staff, right? But they cannot, they have nothing on me just because I appeared to pick up my daughter and they treated me with such discrimination and prejudice. Of course, I will speak up. So, not let alone they separated me from my child. I have all the evidence. I have all the recording. I did nothing. Like, I'm there to see my daughter. I get to be separated from my own child. Like, when does this happen? What world does this happen? And last time I checked, I was Canadian. So, anyways, basically, on the 3rd of December, I received or the 4th. I have to double check the dates, but 3rd or the 4th of December. I believe it was the 4th. So now I'm at the Tim Hortons, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to write my response because I received the email on the 3rd, but the 4th now in the morning, on the Wednesday, I believe, I'm now about to go and essentially write back my response, because now they had, assigned a legal counsel for my ex-wife, which she could not afford her own. Not only that, because we had an amicable divorce, we had a mutual understanding that our daughter is number one priority, and we would do both the best thing in our daughter's interest. That's why I was flexible and I allowed my daughter to stay with my ex during school year, and I would only see my daughter every second weekend because I also understand that my daughter needs to spend quality time with her mother. But now suddenly my ex-wife, she's in breach of trust. She's in breach of that, very agreement that we had before the court. I pledged with my ex that we go to the same lawyer that she had chosen and she had pushed for divorce. I did not push for the divorce. She did. So she went and she sought this, mediator, and I pledged with my ex that let's go back to the mediator, you and me. I'm not trying to change anything. I just want to make sure that you understand a legal document and your roles and responsibility as a mother and as an ex-wife, because there's no reason for you to go and, shit on your ex-husband in front of your daughter. Absolutely nothing. And, now my daughter has been deprived, her natural right to be with her father, natural father. Right? I have not seen my daughters. The last time I saw her, really, we spent time was August 9th, as I said. But then when I went to school the following day on the Thursday, so Tuesday is when the incident happened at the school board. Wednesday is basically when I got email from the principal telling me that, somehow I'm at fault without doing any due diligence, even though I have the recording. And then the third day, on the Thursday, I went back to school with my father as a witness. And I'm waiting there for another 20 minutes. My ex-wife shows up. And suddenly I cannot see my daughter. So anyways, I'm with my daughter. After 20 minutes, she's out. We're on the lawn, in front of the school. We're talking, and suddenly my daughter tells me, is it okay not to see me tomorrow, which was supposed to be the day for me to see her? Why? Who is telling my daughter that she cannot see her father or she should not see her father? That was my weekend. Of course, I will not force my daughter. I would not want my daughter to be with me by force. But it raises concern that my daughter does not want to see her father that day, right? Of course, my daughter loves her father. And, we're best friends. She's daddy's girl. And now the government of Quebec, the school board, and my, ex are all complicit, in the violation of my national rights and freedom as a father. I am the head of the house. You have to understand that. That's why my wife did not receive that consent form, because I am the head of the house. I am the man. No man, no kids. Forget that. That's just natural law for you. You need the seed before you can have the child. So the child is mine. If if I entrust you as a mother and I allow my child to be with you, it's because I'm respectful of your natural right as a parent as well, and I understand that we can have different point of views, but I will never hold you, or my daughter basically in a position where you are my daughter are deprived from that that natural bond between mother and a child. Likewise, I have a bond that is a father and a child, so it's a Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's it, simple. So that's kind of what happened in Ottawa, and leading to basically my arrest and detainment. So now on the 18th of December, as I basically so the third, right? So now as I'm trying to write my affidavit or my response back to the Superior Court of or back to the legal counsel that my wife suddenly has, before you know it, I'm at Tim Horton. There's some illegal activities. I can see there's guys who are not Canadian, really. They're not Canadian. The guys like with $50 stash bills, right? I mean, last I checked, he doesn't even know where he was. I tell him, welcome to Canada, because I see $50 bills. This CANADA, like capital. You cannot mistake that red $50 bill. So I look at the guy, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking to myself, like, what is this guy doing here? A middle-aged man, black man, nothing to do with the color, but he did not look Canadian. Meaning he did not know what he was buying. He did not know he was at Tim Hortons. He did not know that, well, you can buy this or you can buy that. Nonetheless. So I asked the guy if he was a businessman. At 3 o'clock in the morning, what business do you have to do? I mean, I see people. There's only 3 of us. Me, the other guy. He's on his computer. I'm on my computer. This guy is just standing there asking for some, donuts and coffee. And he's outside his park, outside the store, parked in his vehicle. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, nobody just come to Tim Hortons just to, loiter and stay there. So I asked the guy, first I tell him, welcome to Canada. And as I tell the guy, welcome to Canada, he exclaims, what? He did not know he was in Canada. I'm like, you're in Canada. So I'm like, are you a businessman? Are you like a refugee? Are you what? Like, exactly, what are you? Are you like a student? You're not, because he was an illegal. At least I have the suspicion to believe that he was illegal. So the guy gets agitated. He could just feel the energy, man. He could just feel the energy. Like he was on edge. And then, the baker, I tell the baker, listen, this guy, and suddenly the guy goes out, and, he's in front of me, and, he threatens that he would kill me, he would shoot me. So I'm like, what the hell? Of course I'm not going to come out. I had left my phone in the car. Of course I'm not coming out to get my phone, because, I risk my life to be shot or be killed. I don't know. So now I'm still at Tim Hortons, and now, now he changes his spot. He was parked across from us, right? About 20-30 feet distance if you include the parking lot. But now suddenly he goes and changes his parking position all the way to my, this side of the wall, which was basically, there's only like 4 feet sidewalk and a window between us. So I'm agitated now. Like, I feel like this guy's gonna, shoot me from a distance. If he shoots me, I'm dead. So anyway, I tell the guy, listen, I tell the baker, listen, call the cops, man. Like, I don't feel safe here. Cops showed up, but it wasn't 911. It was 311. So city cops shows up. And now they, I see them coming in, but they don't enter the store. They just simply walk around to the back, trying to talk to maybe the staff at Tim Hortons. And then suddenly they come back after like 10 minutes or so. I tell them exactly what happened, but they do not take my statement. They, they ask me for, basically, they already had drunk my mom's license plate. And they know who car that is, obviously. They already had knowledge, prior knowledge to whose car that belongs to. Why? Why did you suddenly just randomly punch a license plate, a car? You don't even know who the rightful owner or the driver of that vehicle. You just simply randomly decided to run my license plate, and now you want to verify that who is the driver. So you come inside the Tim Horton, and then basically I produce my passport as my identification, and suddenly I'm taken to custody again, because guess what? There's a revoked surety from my father. Like, what nonsense is it? I am reporting an illegal crime. But suddenly, I am taken to custody. And that's what happened. From the 3rd of December till the 12th of December, I was held in custody again back at Dennis Road. But this time, I stood my ground. I was chanting Section 92 BNA Act 1867. I'm a liability for the OCDC, which is the Ottawa Carlton Detention Center. They do not want me to be there. They moved me from Gen Pop to like protected custody, back to like a private place. Like, they kept moving me around because I would not shut up. Okay? And finally, you know what? I get released on the 12th. So before that, on the 11th, they cooked this kind of court theater where I showed up, and suddenly they brought this psychiatrist person. I did not realize what the hell who this guy was. So I was in the courthouse in Elgin, and then I'm told, okay, the officer approached the cell, and he's like, okay, AJ, Ahmad Al-Shihabi. So I go, And basically, I'm thinking, who am I seeing? Because last I checked, I don't have a duty counselor. I insisted that I do not want to have a duty counselor, like exactly like the previous time. So now suddenly, what happened? I'm just putting my charger here for the phone. So now what happens? I lost my thought for a second. So yeah, like I'm at the jailhouse, and then essentially like from the 3rd till the 12th, so the 11th, I believe. When I have to double check the dates, but the point is this: I go to the courthouse, right? Just before I got to the courthouse, they had brought the psychiatrist, and when I see the guy, and there's this guy and there's this woman, and I'm looking at the guy, I'm like, who's this guy? He's like, oh, my name is, I forgot his name, but he tells me basically that essentially he's a psychiatrist. I'm like, listen, buddy, 2 words: you have no consent. That's it. You have no consent. I give you no consent. This is bullshit, essentially. So I ignore the guy, start talking to the lady, right? And I told the guy, you have no consent, and you know what? You are in violation of my national rights and freedom. So I go back to the cell. Now they call me to the courthouse, and there was no psychiatrist, so to speak. But suddenly, the crown prosecutor, Miss Morrison, that's her name, Miss Morrison. She pulls this trick out of a rabbit hat that she has concern that I was mentally unfit for trial. What bullshit is this? Mentally unfit for trial. Why? Because the first 2 times I was put in jail, right? On criminal allegation before the court. But if I wasn't mentally fit for trial, I should be non-criminal responsible, NCR, so you should drop all the charges. But then again, now you want me to go back to where? The mental institute. So they pulled this trick that I was mentally unfit for trial, right? Which of course I did not consent to, because when I'm in the courthouse, I'm speaking loud and blah blah blah. Bullshit. It's because you are thick-headed Neanderthal skull cannot understand that you are in breach of my national rights and freedom, which the constitution of this land, the supreme law of the land, under section 52(1), is the supreme law of the land. So the constitution basically is the supreme law of the land, and any other laws that are against or in contradiction with the supreme law of the land are void and null. So your bullshit is like you don't have a single trick in the book that's gonna save you. So again, Miss Morrison pulls this trick out of a rabbit hat that suddenly I'm mentally fit for trial, and I'm taken back to custody the next day. And there was a judge, by the way. There was a judge. So just to understand, they put me in this bail hearing room number 5. Normally it was room number 6, but room number 5 I had requested a special court hearing because of my indigenous status. I'm an indigenous Palestinian-born refugee, naturalized citizen since 2003. I know my rights. So now they bring this stooge judge wearing a red sash. But you have to understand, before you are a judge, you must have a law degree. You must be a lawyer, pass the LSAT, the bar, and then you have 10 years of experience before you are appointed by a senior judge to be a judge yourself. But that guy was a stooge. He looked like 25, 28. Great. You know what? I'm 40 almost. So I look young. But that guy looked younger than me. I'm not sure what kind of fountain of youth he stumbled across. But it's not because of his looks that I'm suspicious of his, stoogishness. It's because he did not understand what Section 92 of the BNA Act means, 1867. And he is also in breach of fiduciary duty. Remember, there's 3 legs that the government stands on. There's the parliament, right, up top. That's what dictate laws. Parliament, you have the law executor, and you have what? The judiciary system. And there's a trust law that, there's an equal side triangle, that there's a trust that I can trust the law enforcement, I can trust the judiciary, I can trust the government to do the right thing. But when the government does the wrong thing, you can trust the judiciary system to hold the government accountable. So I'm not speaking out of this world, man. Just go learn your civic law, basic. Statute laws, they are called statute law, man-made statute laws. They are nothing but legislature, active parliament. So, before your Highway Traffic Act can exist, you must have the parliament, which we only patriated from Canada, from London, UK, in 1982. But we are, last time I checked, we are still, a British colony. Yes, we are a British colony, believe it or not. We have not earned our sovereignty as an independent state, just like the United States of America, because they had their War of Independence in 1784, and George Washington was the first president. That is the distinction between Canadian and American, that we are still basically, under the sovereignty, or basically the crown, so to speak. We have our allegiance to the crown, whereas, American, they don't answer to the crown. And that is your crown prosecutor. They answer to the crown, but they must understand also that the crown, we have 2 laws in Canada. You have civil law, right? That's when you go with a lawyer, and then you have the common law, right? When you go and represent yourself. But you don't need to argue with common law. You argue natural law. That's what you argue, natural rights and freedom, which are safeguarded by the Constitution. So now I'm in Octagus, I get pulled over, with all this mishap. As you know, well, before that actually, so I got released the next day by the Justice of the Peace. So that was the 11th of December, and on the next day, on the 12th, I got released by no other than the Justice of the Peace, because she has seen me back and forth, and she happens to be a lawyer herself. Because the Justice of the Peace is just an administrative law. You do not need to be a lawyer to basically become a Justice of the Peace. You just need a paralegal, some sort of an experience at a law office, and zero criminal record. Bob's your uncle. You're a paralegal. Maybe if you know somebody who will help you to push your application, and you can get the job. But understand, laws are clear. Laws are hierarchical. At the top, we have the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, and then we have provincial laws, and we have municipal laws or lower courts, jurisdiction, right? Any law that breaks the supreme law is null and void, and that's what Section 52(1) of the Constitution 1982 allows you to assert. So again, if you need me to school you on basic laws and rights and order hierarchy, well, guess what? It costs money. You go to school, maybe you should spend 10 years at a law school, but you don't need to. Watch this video. So that's basically what happened, and that's my story in Ottawa. And I have now a Supreme Court of I have a case before the Supreme Court of Canada. And yes, I will add to the pile. My mishap with the Auto Police, the Ghana Police, and now Octagus, RCMP towing my car unlawfully. I'm not against being questioned as to what I'm doing, but I'm a citizen. I cause no harm. The fact that you now tell me that my driver license has been suspended, again, I did not consent to this bullshit. I did not. Why is my driver license suspended in the first place? Medical. What medical? What medical? You have, you have no reason. You simply are coming at me with prejudice, discrimination, racial profiling, right? And prejudice just because of what I know, because of my indigenous background, perhaps. Right? Perhaps because of what I know, because of my look. I look indigenous to you, maybe. Maybe I'm not an alien. I'm an indigenous human being. I just so happen to be an indigenous born, refugee, Palestinian, that is. I'm an indigenous Palestinian born refugee in the city of Damascus. I grew up in Damascus. 15 years before I came in Canada, I was 14 and a half. I celebrated my 15th birthday here in Canada. I went to high school, university. I went to friggin' ESL, man, English as a second language. I speak now. You can't even follow me because I speak too fast, maybe. You're too slow. No. High school, university, aerospace, electronics, and system design with cooperative education. I started my career in 2006 working at a French telecom company called Alcatel. And then, I went through the motion in the industry experience. I worked for startups most of my life, from semiconductor to you name it. You name it. Medtech, hardware, you name it. So I understand technology, because you are too much of an idiot to understand everything I'm telling you, perhaps. So yes, that's my oral testimony, video testimony, because I am seeking apology. I am seeking damages, restitution, because there is no reason why a citizen of this land is robbed away his national rights and freedom simply because of a allegedly suspended driver license, which again, you don't need to drive. It's not because I'm advocating you don't need a driver license. I came from Ottawa here so I can, go about my new life and, establish business and, go about changing my driver license, because I'm here to basically, you need to settle. You need to have a place. But nobody wants to give me a house. Nobody wants to rent me a house. So I met a friend of mine, like I told you, my friend and my brother Abdul and now Ammar. We are three of us. We are three Syrian natives. 2 are refugees. One is for 2 years here, the other one has been here for 5 years. Both are having issues because Canadian government is trampling and infringing on their national rights and freedom. So that will be kind of my, premise for the case. And I want essentially the lower court in Octagus to basically raise the matter to the King's Bench, as they have no jurisdiction. So I'll be bringing my matter before the King's Bench, and I'll be filing a civil claim against the RCMP and Octagus, and essentially I'm just asserting my national rights and freedom, nothing personal. They were very courteous with me. I will tell you that. They were very courteous, but again, they should know better. Because Section 19 of the Criminal Code is ignorance of the law, does not basically give an excuse to commit that offense, right? And they are in breach of trust. in that sense, because they should know better. And they are also in breach of an inviolation of my natural rights and freedom. Inalienable natural rights and freedom for a reason, because I believe in the Creator. There's a Creator Almighty, the Lord, that is. Whereas, the secular world, the pseudoscientists and the devil worshippers, so to speak, they do not believe in such things, to call it inalienable. But you breathe, I breathe, right? You got 2 heads, I got 2 heads. You got 2 feet, I got 2 feet, and so forth. 2 eyes, 2 eyes. So we're all humans. So the universal law supersedes your bullshit again. Last time I checked, the civil code did not exist, previous to Parliament. And if you go back to the common law where it originated from, it's your Magna Carta, 1215 Magna Carta, which basically laid the foundation for the modern democracy that we call, right? So in Canada we have 2 judiciary systems. You have the civil code or civil law, and then we have common law or natural law. You should not go and argue common law. You will lose. Just go and talk natural law, because that's what the Constitution agrees to. That's what the Constitution basically acknowledges, right? It's your inalienable natural rights and freedom. So the Constitution must safeguard those, and that's why you assert your sovereignty act, so to speak, as to remove yourself from being under that pyramid, so to speak, of Canada, to now you are on equal ground, equal footing with the government of Canada. So just like Alberta, the Premier Danielle Smith, she asserts her sovereignty. Basically, she's asserting the sovereignty because of the Sovereignty Act, Section 92 of the BNA Act, 1867. She's fighting for Alberta. You should be happy. You should be happy someone's fighting for your natural rights and freedom, because you could not afford life, with carbon tax and with the removal of fossil fuel from your economy, because Alberta is 80% oil and gas, man. That's what mostly people do here. So yes, I hope you learned something, and I hope that justice will be served. And again, this is a motion. This is a court procedure. This is just one of the evidences that I will be providing. So this is my video statement, and I'll have to basically stitch the 2 videos. The previous video got basically stopped accidentally with my thumb. But you know what? Forget it. I'll put part 1 and part 2. You can listen to the whole thing. You can click part 1, part 2. Peace.